2024 behind us, and I'm looking forward to a great 2025. Yay! And thank you for joining me for Real Estate Talk with Beth. And today we're going to go over the December numbers from 2024. I haven't done the year-end recap, but expect to get that this week. We did have some good numbers in December, so I don't know how that's going to affect us through and once we look at all the numbers together in 2024. But I'm excited to see what it looks like, and we can only improve from here, right? So let's go ahead and take a deep dive in and see what we've got. I changed the format up a little bit, so if you were watching before, it's going to be a little bit different. If you have any questions, be sure to reach out to me. I cover all of Bolivar Peninsula. I go from the ferry to High Island and from the beach to the bay. I get my information from the Houston Association of Realtors. I am a realtor and I work with EXP Realty. I'm with 110 Realty Group, but we're brokered by EXP Realty. And I have to say that because it's true. All right, so as of today, we have 321 houses on the market, and folks, that did come down a little bit from the month before, which is great news. The average price per foot for those houses that are currently on the market is $376, and that has stayed the same in the month before. You're going to see though that those numbers are coming down for sold, so if you're still at the higher number, we're not seeing that on solds. I wish we were. Good news is there were 15 houses that closed during the month of December. That number is up from the month before. Great news for those sellers out there. So we are seeing a little bit of movement. The average price for homes that are selling is $433. That is the average sales price, and that number is up from the month before by $27,000. We're glad to see that number going up. It's not where it was a couple of years ago, but of course we're never going to see those numbers again. Well, we might, but not right away. We're still recovering. The average price per foot for those homes that did sell was $333. So that's just the average overall. We take a deep dive later on and tell you where those houses did sell, but the average was $333. Okay, and that number did go up from the month before by $30 per foot. The average days on the market is 182. So, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, if you're thinking about selling, it's going to take about 180 days, so about 6 months from the time you list it to the time it sells. However, that's only for those 15 houses that did sell. Those houses that are on the market, I should look at that average and let you know what the average days on the market is for that, because I guarantee you it's more than 6 months. We only had 7 houses that went under contract last month. We had 59 houses that either expired, withdrew, or terminated. So we're seeing some of them go off. We are going to see some of those come back on though. And then we did see some sell. So that's bringing the inventory down some. What sold and where on the beach? Okay, so we have 27 miles of beautiful coastline, and we have 15 houses that sold for the month of December. Where did those houses sell, and what prices are they getting where they sold at? So on beachfront, we did have 2 houses that sold, which was up from the month before because we didn't have any that sold last month, but we did have 2 that sold this month. Well, December. So out of those 2, the average there was $455. Then on First and Second Road, they're not going to get as much as beachfront, and we had 1 house sold there, which was $401. On Third and Back, there was 10 houses that sold, and the average there was $311. And then we go over to 272, y'all. So that adds up to the 15. So I did my math right. And that tells you exactly, where those houses sell. Now, just because the average on the beachfront was $455, that doesn't mean that your house on beachfront would sell for $455. We would need to take a look at it and come up with comps. I do know for those two houses that sold, they were small. So, and the smaller houses tend to bring more per square foot, and they were older. So, if it was a small house and it was just built, it probably brought more per foot. If it's a big house and new construction, it may not bring as much. So it just depends. Now, what's sold in the past, compare it to today, okay? So I go back and I look at the past 5 years just so we can see where we were and where we are today. And it's not great. You would hope to see that line continue to go up, but since it went up so dramatically during 2021, 22, we're taking it a little bit down. And we don't normally see that here in Texas. We normally see stuff steady Eddie instead of taking those big increases and decreases. So in 24, in December, there's 15 houses that sold. The average there was 333. We've already discussed that. In 2023, though, we had 10 houses that sold for $367 a foot. In 2022, there were 14, and that average there was $314. So we're not that far off from 22. In 21, my goodness, y'all, that was a great month. There were 15 houses that sold, and the average price per foot was $354. We were busy. In 2020, we had a whopping 29 houses that sold, and the average was $237. So we're not seeing that low number like we did back in 2020, but we're not seeing the highs like we did in 21. Or in 23, the average there was 367. So we are continuing to come down. Don't know if we're at the bottom. I kind of feel like we're at the bottom, but time will tell. I do expect to have some predictions on what I expect to see in this year. I am expecting some great things for this year, though, especially if you're a buyer. There are some deals out there to be had. Mr. and Mrs. Seller, if you need to sell, let's talk. And if you're thinking about selling, let's talk about if this is the right time for you or if maybe you should wait a little while. Anyway, I look forward to